Good day, everyone. Nathan here from the ebook reader blog. For this video, I'm going to give you guys a comparison review between the Kindle Paperwhite 4 on the left and the new Kindle Paperwhite 5 on the right for 2021. So most of the time when Amazon releases a new Paperwhite, they don't really change a whole lot, but this time around they actually did change quite a few things and made some noticeable improvements. Obviously, the biggest difference with the new model is it has a slightly larger 6.8-inch ink screen. And the next biggest difference is they added a warm front light. So you finally have the option to customize the color of the front light on the Paperwhite model, just like the more expensive Oasis. So let's talk about that a little bit more. You can kind of blend the two colors from a cool color to a warm color. And it's going to kind of vary depending on how much brightness you have as well. So it does give you some more options for night reading and just to make the screen a little bit more comfortable to read in different lighting conditions with the orange colored light, a little bit less harsh than the white, kind of a bluish light on the Paperwhite 4. The screen also has better contrast on the new model as well, so that helps the text stand out a bit more. And performance is noticeably improved. They've got a lot faster performance on the newer model. I'll show that here a little bit. Here's a look at the front lights turned off on both models. Again, the newer Kindle Paperwhite 5 has just a little bit better contrast. The text is darker. It just kind of pops off the screen a little bit more. So here we go. We have the exact same font settings, exact same font weight. Everything's the same, but it clearly stands out more on the new Paperwhite 5. So it's definitely an improvement. I'm glad to see that because they haven't been improving contrast for a really long time. The weird thing is they don't even mention it like in the marketing at all, but you can also tell when you're using dark mode, just the black is blacker, has a darker look to it. So definitely an improvement. Nice to see that for a change. When you're talking to the design on these two devices, it's almost like holding the exact same device. They have the same rubbery coating on the back. They're the same thickness. The new model does weigh about 20 grams more than the old one, so it is a little bit heavier. When it comes to the size, it's not a whole huge lot of difference. It's about a little under 3/8 of an inch difference height-wise and width-wise, just about the width of the bezel. They got the smaller bezels on there now, especially the top bezel is much, much smaller. The Paperwhite's always had such a huge top bezel. Another interesting thing with the new model, they have this page turn animation that they added in here. So you can turn this on or off, and it has this little page swipe animation for turning pages. I don't know if they're going to add that to the older models via a firmware update or not, but so far that's only on the Paperwhite 5. As you can see, the page turns are a lot faster on the new model. Pretty much everything's faster, though. They got the same interface now that they updated the software on the older version. So we got all this new layout, and you got the new settings menu up here. But as far as speed and performance goes, the new model definitely is quite a bit faster. I think they will be changing this home screen here soon. They were talking about it on their website where they're going to have like 20 scrollable titles on top, and you'll be able to scroll down like this with some recommended titles below. But let's go ahead and load up an ebook, talk about some of the performance differences here. Again, the Paperwhite 5, it's got a faster processor. Everything is just a bit zippier when you're interacting with the device. It's quite nice, actually. There's no more lag when you're opening a book, no more lag when you're like accessing menus or anything like that. It's definitely an improvement. It's even a little bit faster than the Kindle Oasis, so I don't see the Oasis staying around in its current form for very much longer, especially now that the newer model also has USB-C, so I didn't mention that earlier, but the new model adds the USB-C port. Another minor but useful upgrade with the Paperwhite 5 is it now supports dual-band Wi-Fi for 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, so all the earlier Paperwhites and Kindles, for that matter, support just single-band Wi-Fi, so we finally got some upgrade in that department as well. All right, so just to confirm here, we do have the same font, exact same settings with the layout on these two devices. So, I mean, it does look like the Paperwhite 5 has boldness enabled, but it does not. I mean, it has enabled one notch just like the Paperwhite 4, so it's the same setting, but the screen definitely looks better. Performance is better. Everything loads just a little bit faster, especially when you're like navigating your library. If you're trying to scroll through your library list, the Paperwhite 4 gets kind of bogged down after a few swipes, where the Paperwhite 5 just keeps going. And then when you're jumping around different parts of your library, I noticed when it's going to load the thumbnails, it is quicker. Everything's just a little bit quicker on the Paperwhite 5, like I said. So it's a needed upgrade, get some speed improvement on Kindles because they have been getting kind of laggy. So it's definitely nice to see some speed improvements. Loading up a comic book here. Again, you can clearly see the contrast is better on the Paperwhite 5. Blacks are darker. Again, page turns quite a bit faster. Another thing too is like when you're using pinch zooming and scrolling around, just more responsive, not quite as jittery as it used to be. I mean, it's an ink screen, so you're limited to like 8 frames per second, so it's always going to be a little slow, but definitely an improvement over the Paperwhite 4. It kind of had a jitteriness to it Another improvement with the new model, Amazon lists battery life at 10 weeks, whereas the Paperwhite 4, they listed it at 6 weeks with their weird, ambiguous calculations about how they come up with battery life. But it's a little bit too early for me to get any kind of judge on battery life at this point. But the new model should definitely have better battery life just based on Amazon's estimates. And it also charges a lot faster with the USB-C. It's like twice as fast, the USB-C port. So this has just been kind of a quick look at the differences between the Kindle Paperwhite 4 and the Kindle Paperwhite 5. Of course, the biggest difference comes down to the screen and the front light, and it's also nice having the USB-C port now in the newer model. The new Paperwhite is a bit heavier and a bit larger, so there's that to consider. And it still has that flush front screen that's a total fingerprint magnet, but it's nice to see the contrast has improved. The price is only $10 more for the new model compared to the old model, so that seems fairly reasonable for the upgrades. There's also a signature edition of the new Paperwhite 5. It adds wireless charging and an auto-adjusting front light, along with 32 gigabytes of storage space, but otherwise it's exactly the same as the Paperwhite shown here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video right here. Check out the ebookreader.com for the full review of the Paperwhite 5. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.